Thank you very much, Bolu. Welcome,
Hi.
everyone. Thank you. My name is Mark. I am your planning instructor. I have over 15 years experience in project planning. And if you sign up with us, I'll be training you on how to use software such as PC Primavera, Microsoft Projects, and then the Schedule Risk Analyzer as well. I will help you with CVs. I will help you with mentorship. I will micromanage you so that you're very competent in getting the job and also keeping the job as well. And then we also have Arinze, and we also have Richard is going to be your Scrum Master trainer, and is going to teach you on how to use the Scrum methodology and Jira. And then we also have our alumni, Arinze, that will give you a testimonial at the end of the day. So without wasting too much time, I'll just share my screen. And you all see my screen. So what we do once in a while is we do a give back. We do a job therapy and CV workshop. And this is one of our give backs to the community to help people that have been rejected and they're giving up and people that are struggling to get their leg into the industry. So this session is catering to people to help you to ensure that you can get that job offer and then you can be happy in your new career. So the objective today is how do we get more interviews? So you're sending your CVs and you're not getting that interview. We need you. We're going to show you on how to get that interview. We're going to show you on how to improve that interview performances so that when you are going in an interview, you can delight your future boss and your future colleagues. You're going to show you an example of how to master competence-based answers and how to handle rejection positively. And when you get the job, how to reduce the workplace stress as well. So it's one thing to get a job is another thing to keep it stress-free. All right. So how recruiters shortlist candidates, they're looking at relevant experiences. Do you have that experience, transferable experience to meet that job? Do you have that construction experience? You have that water experience? You have the NHS experience? And you need to tailor your CV to match that what they're looking for. And the keywords and the ATS optimization, there are some keywords that needs to be on your CV so that you can pass the firewall, the ATS, and ensure that you can be shortlisted by the recruiter as one of the prime candidates that they're looking for. Your achievements that you've done on your projects has to be mentioned there. So, for example, you said you worked and delivered a 10 million projects and you reduced the timeline in delivering that project. That has to be mentioned on your CV. And you need to have a professional online presence. So you need to have like a LinkedIn profile um, to show that online presence because sometimes these recruiters they go in and headhunt you through LinkedIn as well. So you need to have that online presence. I know some people don't like social media, but it helps if you have that professional online presence on LinkedIn. Any questions as I go along? Okay. So 10 ways to get more interviews. One, you need to tailor your CV. You can't just apply from your phone and send a generic CV. You need to cater your CV and make sure that it fits the job description. You need to optimize LinkedIn. When you sign up with us, we're going to show you on how to optimize your LinkedIn with prompts and the banners and to ensure that your LinkedIn is very recognized and people are attracted to it. And you are also going to show you on how to network on LinkedIn, how to contact recruiters and add them as connection, and even send them DMs and saying, I've added you as a connection. I'm available as for a project manager, planner, Scrum Master role. Apply early. So the tip is the jobs are posted out in the morning. Don't apply in the nighttime because the other candidates have already applied as well, and you'll be candidate 1001. They're not going to scroll to the 1001 to get to your CV. So apply early. Be one of the first people to apply from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Be applying and set your alarm. Okay. Follow up professionally. So you've seen the recruiter on LinkedIn or JobServe or Total Jobs. Send them a DM. Send them a message. Use referrals. You have friends that are working in different companies. They can refer you through the jobs pasted on their careers. And the referrals are more powerful because they can say that this person is very competent. Highlight your achievements. Don't be shy and don't highlight your achievements. You've done a project. How did you do it? Did you save cost? Did you save money? Build your portfolio. All the projects that you've worked on, It has to be on your CV, and then upskill continuously. So learn new stuff, learn AI. How can AI help me in my project search? How can I use Jira? How can I use P6? How can I use Power BI? So upskill continuously. Don't just send your CV and not upskill your skills. In terms of why do you get rejection, which we all fear, huh? You are sending a generic CV, and the CV is just bland. You're not catering it, you're not modifying it. You're going to get a rejection from the recruiter. Missing keywords. There are some keywords that should be on your CV, but you didn't take time to put it on your CV. Poor formatting. You're not checking the formats, and you're just sending your CV. The achievements are so limited, and you are sabotaging yourself. So that's why you're not getting your applications are rejected. Lack of relevant experience. You are looking for engineering experience or construction experience, you're not adding that to your CV. They're not going to take you. Weak online presence. You don't have a LinkedIn profile. How would they trust you? So you need to have a strong online presence online as well, so that they can vet you on LinkedIn and other places as well. Overcoming rejection. So you need to separate rejection from self-worth. Okay. The most dangerous person is the person that anticipates rejection and say, bring it on. I'm still going to push on. You're still going to see me on Monday. I'm going to apply and I'm going to get the job. Okay. So don't let rejection bring you down. Anticipate it, prepare for it, and overcome it. Okay. Request feedback. Sometimes if you request feedback, you can see the trends and patterns that is going on your where you're making mistakes, and then you will need to fix it. Improve one area at a time. So if you know that you're constantly getting rejection because you are not being elaborate in terms of your presentation or your interview, we're going to have to improve that area at one time and make yourself very strong by rehearsals. Okay? Maintain momentum. You're getting rejection. Don't give up and stop applying. You need to continue that momentum and saying, bring it on. I'll still see you the next day and I'm going to get this job. Okay? And build resilience and confidence in yourself and keep on pushing on. Okay? So those are one of the tips of overcoming rejections. Competence-based interviews. So employers always assess past behaviors to predict future performances. So they are going to ask you competence-based interview questions. And I provided a framework on how to conquer that. It's called CTAP. Okay. Situation. Where were you working? What was uh what was the requirement of you being there? What was the task relating to the interview question? Tell me a time you dealt with a difficult stakeholder. Implications. What was the implication if you ignore the task or ignore the job? Would you lose your contract? Would you be put on a project performance? Would the agency that sent you reputation be tarnished? Would your image or reputation be tarnished if you do not deliver on that task that they gave you? Then what was your actions? List a couple of your actions. I reviewed, I encouraged, I delegated, I investigated, I apologized, and then list your technical actions. What did you do on Power BI? What did you do on Microsoft Project? What did you do on Excel, PowerPoint? And then the results to your customer, the results to your line manager, the results to yourself, and the reflections, what was the lessons learned as well. So, for example, situation, describe the business context, the challenged, the stakeholders, the timeline, and the environment. The task and the implication, what were you responsible for? What were you meant to do? And the implication, as I mentioned, of not delivering, what was the cost implication? Was there any schedule delays? Was the customer dissatisfied? Was there any safety or quality risk? If you did not deliver, would your contract be terminated? Would you be put on an action plan? Your agency's reputation tarnished as well. You need to mention that as the implication of you ignoring that task or not delivering on that task. And your actions. How did you communicate? What are the leadership actions you did? Any teamwork you did? Stakeholder management? Any negotiation? Any conflict resolutions you've done? And your technical actions, you need to mention that during the interview. Okay. What did you do on data analysis? Did you go to Excel and click on data, validate data, project planning? What did you do there on MS projects? P6, what were the actions you did there? Risk management. Did you open up the read logs? What did you do there? Reporting. How did you report? The process improvement. What were the actions you did there? What were the actions you did on Excel, PowerPoint, Power BI, Jira, etc. This makes your story elaborate. This makes your story very detailed. So if you're not mentioning at least 10, 11 actions per story, then you are not going to convince your future line manager that your past experience will predict your future actions. Results. Quantify your achievements. What was your achievement in doing that task? What was the percentage? You saved 10%, 20% revenue and time reductions and reflections. Add your reflections. I learned that if I didn't do this or didn't engage with these stakeholders, things would have been very bad. Okay. And then you talk about what you are going to improve next time going forward on that story. So this is how you need to phrase your story. And if you sign up, we're going to show you examples of doing this as well. So the example, just to elaborate quickly, situation project was 6 weeks behind, and they ask you, can you tell me a time you recovered the schedule? You just say, project was 6 weeks behind. I was working on a construction project, and if I did not do anything, there will be client penalties, delays to the project, and I'll end up being as a contractor. I'll end up my contract might be terminated because I was not competent. Okay, and then the actions I did, I set up a stakeholder workshop. I did the schedule analysis, resource optimization, and then results, we recovered the schedule 5 weeks and avoided penalties. Reflection, and what I learned was that early risk escalations improves outcome. So this is how you need to frame your story, okay, and make it very elaborate to convince somebody that your past experience is going to be useful for predicting your future actions. Any questions as I'm going along? So how do you keep your job stress-free? So you need to prioritize effectively. You need to set clear boundaries. You need to communicate early. You need to manage expectations and build positive relationships. You don't want to be hired and not build relationships. So you need to network and meet people. You need to keep learning and you need to take breaks and use leave as well. You don't want to be overwhelmed and not sitting on your desk for 14 hours or 8 hours and not taking a break or going for a walk. So this is how you can keep those your job stress-free once you have gotten that job. Okay. And the 30-day career success plan. Week one, you need to update your CV. Week two, optimize LinkedIn. So we have the prompts and to show you on how to do that. Week three, you need to practice your competence stories. Week four, mock interviews and networking as well. Meet with friends, meet with our alumni, and ask them to is there any jobs in their current sectors that you can be referred to as well. And your opportunity starts now. So I'm going to quickly do a quick demonstration on how you can find jobs, especially if you're looking for COS or visa sponsorship jobs in the UK. So let me bring up my screen. Can everybody see my screen? If you give me a thumbs up.
Yes, yes, okay.
Okay. So this is JobServe. Is one of those platforms where you can set jobs. And you can put in the country and also other countries as well. So I put in US and I put in Europe, United Kingdom as one of my countries I want to search for. And here you just put in projects as a keyword and eligibility. You can put in visa sponsorship and visa considered. Okay. And I'm going to click on search here. Okay. So it hasn't brought anyone. So if I click on show me 17 jobs in the UK matching this, sorry, that's so widen my search job in my country and show me. Okay, now it has brought more. Okay, just yesterday, Friday, June 5th of June, it showed me they need a content project manager. Though the money is small, 100 to 120, but applicants who require visa is considered. Okay, and this is one of the jobs you can apply for. Okay, so these are all these job spec is what we are going to train you on and mentor you on so that you can apply for the job and keep it stress free. Okay, don't worry too much about digital marketing administration experience. You got that experience. Okay, and we will mentor you on doing this as well. This one here is building and construction project manager. You can see here applicant require visa is considered as well. This is yesterday posted. Okay, and it's 35 to 40 pounds, 40 pounds per hour. This is a migration analyst. This is a business intelligence analyst. They are happy to consider this. This was posted 1st of June and they have product manager. Okay. When you train with us, we can consider you as well. There's a lady called Tammy, she's a BA, and Richard as well. And you can look at product manager roles as well. And they can consider this business analyst as well in Winslow 450, posted 1st of June. So you can, there's lots of jobs, and every day you come in here and search for those jobs. Okay. Any questions? If you don't need visa sponsorship, you just take this off and you just type in projects and search. Okay. And you can see more jobs here. Okay. But if you need the visa sponsorship, you can go to eligibility, take this too. Okay. Pick the countries you want to look at and then search for it and put in the prompt project. Okay. Alternatively, another way you can go about is use AI. So I'm going to create this one here and refresh. And the prompts I'm going to put here is create a list of companies in the UK that offers visa sponsorship on project management role. That's the prompt I'm putting on AI. I'm going to click on that. Just waiting for it. Okay, so I don't something's going on wrong here. Let me go to the last one I did.
Mark, I think your tokens are done.
My tokens are done, yes.
Yeah.
Good one. Okay, so let me see if I go to the last one, sorry. What I did yesterday. Oh, sorry, go back. Okay, so this is what I did yesterday. Create a list of companies that offer visa sponsorship in the UK. And it gave me a couple of lists. Okay, Stagger City. So you go here, you click here, takes you to the company's website. You go here and you click and look for their careers. So let me see about careers. So current vacancies, they're looking for data engineer, they're looking for BA. This is one of the things we train on. And they're looking for other roles. So you can go here, job profile, 2 days a week in our London office, and look at the your responsibilities. Is your CV catering to what they are looking for? All these is your CV catering to this? Because you need to tweak your CV so that you can have a good chance of being selected for interview. All right. And you go to your AI again and then future groups. You check Rolls-Royce, Valley, Avalok, National Highways. They are offering. One of our alumni, Victor, got COS with National Highways as a senior planner. HSBC, Google, NHS, Deloitte, PwC, Accenture. You go in here and you check their careers. Construction companies have the sponsorship as well, and they can cater you as well to give you that visa sponsorship. So I'm going to stop here and hand over to Richard. Before I stop, anybody has any questions?
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Titilope.
Yes, I do have a question. Thank you so much for this. So you mentioned LinkedIn that you should have visibility on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
but then we're supposed to like tailor our CVs to the specific role. Now, what's on? And LinkedIn will also ask you for your your job history. So how do you marry the two?
Well, you are going to be agency staff with us, so we have deployed you to work for different clients. So that's how you marry it out.
On the LinkedIn
Profile. Yeah. So you just put in MI Consulting as an agency staff, and then we deployed you to work for different clients, and then that's what you put on your LinkedIn.
Okay, wow. Okay.
Good. Titi, let me provide a bit more context to that. So on your LinkedIn, you have the same organizations. Say, for instance, you worked for MI Consulting between 2023 to 2025, right? And
Yeah.
you work for Jaguar Land Rover, 3 years, you work for different companies. So it's not still be the same organizations. But when we say tailor your CV, it does not mean you're going to be changing your work experiences. You just be changing the roles and the outcomes for each particular. Say, for instance, in this organization for MI Consulting, you were a senior planner, for instance, right? If you go to apply for a job, there might be some specific asks. They might want someone that has P6, experience, while a different company might want someone that has MSP experience. So tailoring your CV is you have to make sure that the job description matches what's on your CV. It's still the same organization. So on LinkedIn, it could be the same, but you tailor your CV to capture those specific keywords. Does that make sense? Hello?
Well, Titilope.
Oh, looks like we lost it.
Okay. I think we've got Nana raised her hand and
Mm,
Pelumi.
Yeah, yes, sir. So my question is, I attempted to find MI Consulting on LinkedIn, and I think I found over 10 companies, and I couldn't tell which one was
Okay.
ours.
Richard, do you want to share or?
We'll show you the MI consulting. Yeah, I'll get it up.
Thank you.
No problem. Any more questions? Right, Mark, are you done?
Yes, I'm done. Yes, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation.
Mark, can I
Yes,
just
Arinze.
yeah, good afternoon all. I'm Arinze. So I just joined I heard everything, especially the one that enters my ear is where my problem started before I met Mark. I heard when they were saying about CVA, editing your CV, making sure that the keywords in the job description is in your CV. Yeah, because after my training, I keep applying and I was getting unfortunately, I thought the problem is from
Sorry,
the
we lost you
CV.
there.
Okay, but can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
So I thought the problem is from my CV. I didn't know I have to edit my CV always whenever I'm doing application, because application is the hardest thing you do. Each application you do, you must edit your CV to match the job description. And then that is one. Secondly, someone told me, because there are many people looking for job like this. So each application, before you do any application that have passed 2 hours, they advertise it. Just know that over 50 people have applied. So you have to always keep your eye on the advert. Whenever it's between 2 hours and your job description matches, they will always call you. I have that experience. So that is one. So before I met Mark, nothing was going on my side. In fact, I started having problem with some of the people that put me on the line. Before someone said, take this number, call this man, he's going to help you. So immediately I call Mark. Guys, when I speak with Mike, I know there's something different from him, because the way he was detailed, tell me everything line by line, as in point by point. I was so convinced with him. And after being convinced, I started following him. He started teaching me, within 2 weeks, guys, I had an interview, 3 interviews, 2 called me back. The other one that didn't call me back, they didn't call me because I failed the interview. It's because some people have done the interview before me, so they are waiting for those people to go into stage 2. And so I got an offer just 3 weeks, within 3 weeks of following Mark. So is that not a magic, guys? I have been there months, up to 6 months before I met him. So, guys, if you know what you have now, I don't know how to say this, but for me, it looks like magic. So I'm still grateful with the guy that gave me Mark's number. I'm very, very grateful to Mark. In fact, it's yesterday night that he called me and said, could you just come into this place and encourage guys? I said, why, Mark, why not? What can I not do for you? So, guys, this is just I'm telling you, if you go with Mark, just know that your future is assured. I don't know what to say again, Mark. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Arinze. God bless you. Bless you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Arinze. So let's go to the next part of the second part of this section. So yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
I have my hand probably.
Right, okay. Yeah, go for it.
We move on. Congratulations, Arinze, and my job is amazing. But I just want to ask LinkedIn bit. Can you share a bit more light? Because there are so many jobs on LinkedIn that one can apply for. But I still, a bit more clarity into MI Consulting employed you. They sent you to different clients. Do you list the name of those clients, or you just list them out? Do you have something you can show us that relates to how it works in terms of optimizing LinkedIn feed?
Can I just answer that question, please?
Go for it, Arinze.
Okay. Anyway, my own time in my LinkedIn, I didn't even put MI Consulting. I put tier 1 companies. That's what I put. But whenever a recruiter called me, or whenever a company contacted me when I do application, they'll ask you, tell me about yourself, tell me your job situation, tell me what you're currently doing. That is when I always come in with. It's a Mark that always give me that my introduction. I have a 5 years experience, and the use of MSP, P6. I'm currently a contractor with MI Consulting, working in. Now you mentioned those companies. Did you understand how it works? Did that answer your question? Hello, the person that asked the question.
When you say tier 1 companies, what do you mean by tier 1 companies, please? Can you share? Let me just follow you up.
Okay, what I mean by tier 1 companies, this is what they are looking. This is what recruiters are looking for. In fact, if I will have an email, I'll show you when a recruiter asks me to share your LinkedIn to me. Let me see. They're always searching for people working in a tier one company. UK tier one company are tier one. The way they graded the companies. The way they graded the companies, like the first companies in UK, like handle the most expensive jobs in UK. Very popular companies like Bafobati that is handling HS2 projects. Like Angolo, BAMS, and so on and so forth, like them. They are the tier one companies. They have tier two companies as well. But mostly what they're looking for is tier one company.
All right, Maruja, thank you very much for that. So I think for the sake of time, make note of your questions and let's take it at the end, yeah? Let's
Hearing
quickly
them.
on to the slide and just make note of your questions and we can take it all at the end of the session. Right, so I'll be taking you on this second part of this career therapy section. My name is Ify Richard Anukem. That's my LinkedIn profile if you want to connect on LinkedIn. So the reality of today's job market, you see on LinkedIn, sometimes they post a job and before you know it, you have hundreds of applications. And why most people fail is because, one, some people wait for recruiters to contact them. Some people have an incomplete LinkedIn profile. The LinkedIn profile looks like it's owned by a ghost, and they don't network. I find that networking is one of the best ways to secure a role. If you're part of a community like we have in MI Consulting, you can always network with those who are currently working. And if there's any roles available in the organizations, you can share on the platform. And you can just go to events, go to networking events, tech events. It's very, very powerful. That's one of the quickest way to secure roles. So I want to just share something with you about people I know that have gotten jobs. They spend 20% of their time applying for roles. Now, it's not about the quantity of applications you do. Some people just sit on their phone and they're sending out 50 applications a day. No, that's not the right strategy. They spend 40% of their time networking, going to events, reaching out to people on LinkedIn, looking at top voices in their industries and trying to, get to know them. They spend 40% of their time networking, and they spend 20% of their time branding themselves. Okay, branding simply means, are you on LinkedIn? Are you commenting on other people's posts? Are you engaging on other people's content? Are you also putting out your own content out there? I know Mark mentioned that some people are not into social media, but if you're looking for a role, we're not saying you should go and start posting on Instagram and Facebook. It's LinkedIn. You need to start positioning yourself as someone that is an expert in your industry. If you're a planner, you share planning posts, you repost other people's posts. Just brand yourself as someone that is into their craft. Spend 20% of the time preparing for interviews. We'll go into a bit more detail of that in the coming slides. So when you apply for a role, the recruiters spend 6 seconds reviewing your CV. They don't read the entire CV. And I see people apply for roles and they've got 4 pages worth of CVs. I mean, that is ridiculous. Your CV should not be more than 2 to 3 pages long. Because what they will do is they will scan through the CV, and in the first instance, they want to know who you are, what you've achieved, and why they should interview you. So you need to make sure that your CV, when you put your personal summary, it captures the essence of who you are, what you've done, what you've achieved, and why they should hire you. In the next slide, I will show an example of how a winning CV should look. So this is our recommended CV format. The first thing you want to start is your professional summary. Okay, that is the first thing they read. They want to know who you are. Then they want to see your skills and your core competencies. So you don't start up with your summary and you start putting your experience. No, they want to see who you are and the skills you bring, you're bringing to the business. So this is an example of an ideal CV. Professional summary at the top, your core experiences or your core competencies next before your experiences. And your experiences should not be based off responsibilities. I've seen CVs where people write responsible for administering PCs, responsible for facilitating Scrum events. No, they should be outcome focused. You want to show the employer, show the recruiter what you've done, what you've achieved in your role. So they should be about outcomes, not just tasks or responsibilities. Okay. And next is your LinkedIn. I know Mark mentioned LinkedIn as well. So for example, instead of when you have your professional headline, instead of just having an agile coach as your professional headline, you want to make it more engaging. So when someone looks at it, they'll be like, okay, I want to speak to this person. Look at the first headline here. It says agile coach. The next one says agile coach, delivery leader, driving business transformation and high performing teams. Now, if I go into 2 separate LinkedIn profiles and one of them has just this headline and the other has the next one, I want to speak to the person at the bottom more because this person seems like he's just, he's very stiff. There's not a lot going on for him. While this person seems like this one knows exactly what they're doing. They're showing they're driving business transformation and helping high-performing teams. So your headline should, capture the essence of your role. If you're a planner, you can look for, a team. You put your project planner, you have a team, and have another team. That helps your LinkedIn look a bit more inviting. Moving on. So for LinkedIn, I would advise people to add at least 20 connections every week. So you try to grow your LinkedIn posture. You add 20 people in your industry. That people's LinkedIn, if someone applies for a role of just 100 followers or 100 people, I'll be a bit skeptical. I'm like 100 followers. This is just that unconscious bias. But when you look at someone's LinkedIn and they've got like 1,000 people, followers, 1,000 connections, it shows more credibility. So while you're trying to build your look for roles, ensure you're adding at least 20 people every day. Okay, you engage with at least 5 posts a day, because the more you engage with people's posts, the more the algorithm pushes your profile to the top. And you reach out to at least 5 recruiters weekly. There's a lot of recruiters on LinkedIn. If you go to LinkedIn, if you type in talent acquisition experts in this industry, you will see a lot of them. Reach out to them, send them messages on LinkedIn. Tell them that, look, you're actively looking for a role. And if you can, you publish one leadership post weekly. It could be a post on your area of specialty. It could be a post on P6. It could be a post on BA. It could be a post on the new PMO technique. Just, you can go on ChatGPT and it will help you craft a very engaging post, and you can post it on LinkedIn. Just post at least once a week. That helps, makes you look credible. Okay, so this is what I would encourage. When I started off, this is exactly what I did. I made sure I grew my LinkedIn followership and connections. I ensured that I engaged with people's posts to push my profile to the top, and I reached out to recruiters constantly. An example of a template you can use to reach out to people within your industry is something like this on my screen. You can just add someone, and once they accept you, you say, hi, you put their name on here. I'm currently exploring the opportunities in agile delivery and transformation, and would value the opportunity to connect and learn more about your experience at the company. This is an example of, a very short message you can send to someone, a new connection. Some people might respond, some people might not respond, but there's no harm in trying. But this is how you build your network. Okay. And I also mentioned earlier about, the quality of applications, not the quantity. Okay. For me, I would advise you to apply for 5 to 10 relevant roles every week, but do it well. Don't just sit on your phone and apply to various roles with the same CV. Go on your computer, go on company's website. When you see a role that you're happy with, you go, you take out the job description, you match it with your CV, you ensure that your CV captures all the keywords before you apply for that role. Some roles, you have to really go in, answer certain questions, and you can't do that on your phone, because sometimes your phone might even disrupt your CV formatting. So it's best you do it on your computer, but to do it right. So it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And you can also use what is called a Boolean search. And this is very, very important. So nowadays, certain roles come with a very funny role, name. So they might be looking for a BA, but you find out that the role is not called a BA. So if you're looking for a role, for instance, let me just get up a screen and show you what I'm talking about. So if you're looking for, say you're looking for a BA role, and you type in business analyst jobs, okay, it will show you, various roles in Deloitte, Ascension, all that. But if you want to use a Boolean search, right, I can narrow this down. I can say business analyst, and I can say Scrum, I can say and Agile, I can say and project management, or project manager, and I can put a location. I can say London. Now, what this will do is this will show me any role that has anyone or any role that has any of these skills. So even if a role is advertised and it's not called a BA, but it has any of these words, it's going to show me every role. Because nowadays you see some companies, they have a role called a value lead or value outcome lead. Now, if you look, that might be a delivery lead or a Scrum Master, but they change the name to something else. But it is the same responsibility. So you might be looking for a PMO analyst role, but in the company it's called something entirely different. But you want to type in the core skills so that Google can help you show you every job description that contains those core skills that you have. And it will show you only those roles within your area. Like I mentioned London, it's going to show me roles only in London. If I live in Manchester, I can also say, take off London and say, just show me roles in Manchester. And I will start seeing roles specifically in Manchester. So this is a very good way to, when you want to search for roles and you want to widen your search, you don't want to just type in project planner, but you want to look for roles that maybe project planner, project coordinator, project scheduler. You put all of them, project planner and scheduler and PMO. You can type in the entire role and using the Boolean search and type in your location, and it will show you all the roles within that location. So this is very effective. You can try it out and see what you get out of it. Right, so moving on, also one thing I would like everyone here to do is also to create a tracker. So when you apply for a job, you all create a tracker. You're not applying for hundreds of jobs. You're applying for 5 to 10 jobs a week. Have a tracker, note down the roles you applied for, have a status. Have they called you? Have anyone reached out to you? What is the update? In this way, you know exactly the roles you've applied for. If someone reaches out to you, you can track when the interviews are happening or what they've told you. Maybe you're not successful, but you have a tracker. You can know exactly what companies you've applied for. So even if you go and role and you want to update your CV, you can go and check your tracker so you don't apply to the same organization for the same role with a different CV. So it's always good to have a tracker you can refer to. I always use a tracker when I was actively job searching, and it's very, very helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt at any time. So what I would advise is 10 quality applications a week, 10 networking conversations a week, 5 recruiter interactions a week, and 3 interview practice sessions. Keep preparing for that interview. You don't have to wait until you secure an interview before you start practicing. You have to get ready. Just keep on practicing because the interview will come. As long as you're applying right, the interview will come. So don't wait until someone calls you and say you have an interview next week, then you start preparing. Always be ready. Okay, always keep practicing your interviews, look at interview questions, look at the mirror, respond to these questions, see how you sound, record yourself, get someone to listen to you, get some feedback. And when the interview comes, you're ready. Okay. And here I say consistency beats intensity. It's not about how many jobs you're applying for, it's about how consistent what you're doing. Is it structured? Are you following a very structured approach in your job search? And I would like to also highlight the best times when new jobs appear. So I've noticed that with certain job platforms like Indeed and Total Jobs, they usually schedule their job adverts to come on between 6 in the morning and 10 in the morning. Okay, so I know Arinze mentioned that you have to try and be one of the first applicants. So for most of these job platforms, Indeed, Total Jobs, Serve, it's always good to try and check in the morning between 6 and 10. I would say between 9 and 10 especially. That's when new jobs come live. Be one of the first applicants, keep an eye and ensure that you're checking those platforms every day between 9 and 10, preferably. That's when new jobs tend to go live in the morning. And for me, the best time to check is between, again, 7 and 9. You can check again between 12 and 1. Some of them, maybe, they schedule it late. You can come in between 12 and 1. But mostly, I would say between 7 and 9. You can also do a final check between 4 and 6 before you close off for the day. So between 7 and 9, 12 and 1, and 4 to 6. That is, from my observation, that is when new jobs go live on most of these job platforms. And you will be one of the first to apply if you're constantly checking the sites at these times. Okay, this is just to let you know that recruiters, they review applicants in waves. So if you apply within 24 hours of the job posting, it is good, but it's not excellent. So I would rather you apply maybe 2-3 hours after the job has gone live. But within 24 hours, it's still okay. Within 48 hours, it's all right. But after a week, I don't think, after a week, the chances, it's like playing the lottery, the chances become slimmer. So if you want to look for roles, you ensure you're filtering, you're applying for jobs that are within maybe the last 48 hours. And in some cases, if you want to stretch your luck, you can try the ones that are maybe 3-4 days old. But I would advise you stick to between 24 to 48 hours. And you can also create a workflow using Zapier. I won't be able to demonstrate this today, but it's something you can go and research. So you can run a job search collection, every hour during weekdays. Zapier would help you go through all these sites, and it will send you relevant roles that you've told it. If you tell it, look, I want to see all the roles that have anything relating to project planning, project scheduling, PMO analyst, you give it those keywords, it will send you to go run across all these platforms, Indeed, Total Jobs, JobServe, and whatever platform you put on there, and it will send you alerts of those specific roles. So you can also run this pipeline on Zapier, and it would send you those roles, and you can apply quickly. As opposed to going into them individually, Zapier can help you automate that process. This is something we're going to teach our paid students on how to set up this pipeline on Zapier. So finally, for today, I would like to demonstrate something using what's called a CV Wolf. So CV Wolf is basically a free software you can use to match your CV and compare it to the job role you're applying to. So on the left-hand side, you can paste your CV on there. On the right, you can put your job description for the role you're applying for, and you can run it to see if your CV is the role you're applying for. And like we are looking for a project planner job. Okay. And I've seen one here, senior planner, and I go to senior planner. I look at this job description. So what I'll do is I'll copy the entire job description and the responsibilities. I'll copy it. I'll go to CV Wolf and I'll paste it right here where you see job description. Then let's say I've got a CV here I'm going to use for this demo. And that's the CV I'll be using for this demo. So again, I'll come to this CV. I'll copy the entire CV. I'll go to the left and I'll paste that on the left. And I will say check the CV against the job description. I'll click on this. And what CV Wolf will do is to run through the job description and see if my CV captures the essence of this job description. If I have all the keywords, and it will tell me what the score is. So you can see for this particular role, it's scoring me 45, which means this is very bad. My CV hasn't got what is needed for this role. This the job description contains procurement. My CV hasn't got it. On the CV, it has construction 1, and on the job description, it mentioned 7 times. Logistics 0, design 0, supply chain 0. So what's going to happen if I apply for this role? The chances of them not calling me, or even my CV going past the ATS, is very slim. Because when you apply for a role, your CV is going to be run through a filtering service. Before any human touches your CV, an AI software will first of all filter those CVs to see if those CVs are even relevant to the job role. So you want to first of all try and pass that ATS screening so your CV can get into the hands of the recruiter. So in this instance, my CV wouldn't be picked because I'm scoring just 45. A lot of the key requirements for this role, my CV hasn't got it. So what I need to do is to go and try and align my CV with the job description, picking out those keywords. I can tell what the keywords are from here, and I can go and start, inserting those keywords into my CV, and I would have a better score. But I don't think we have that time to start going into it one by one. But this is exactly what you need to be doing. That's why I said it's not about applying for 100 roles. It's about applying for roles strategically. Every role you're applying for, you ensure your CV captures the keywords and the exact thing that role wants. Okay, you can use this free software to help you align your CV with that. Okay. Any questions? Any questions?
Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you so much for the opportunity. I just wanted to ask, is it wise to run one CV through either ChatGPT or cloud? I know in the past it used to be like using resume.io, but maybe if someone is trying to avoid the cost, is it wise to try to, like I said, run your CV? Because we know that every job role, one will have to tweak one CV. And I am so happy you've made mention of this CV Wolf, which will help. But I just wanted to check if it's quite wise. And why I'm saying that is, for most times, for every job role, one has to tweak one CV to fit into the JD that the company is putting out there. So is this something one should focus on?
Yeah, as long as you humanize it, AI has a way of writing. That's why even if you go to universities and you go and you do your dissertation and you use AI to write your dissertation, and even if you say humanize it and make it human, when you submit it, that's their own AI will know this is AI. So for me, I don't really. Yes, AI is good. AI can give you an idea, but you need to humanize it yourself. So don't just think by inserting humanize it and make it my own into my writing pattern. Don't think AI would now make it very human for you. Okay, so even if you run it through ChatGPT or cloud, when you get a CV, you need to go in and read that CV, humanize it, own it, make it yours. Make it yours. Especially, that's why I always advise people. So for me, when I was actively looking for roles, I had specific companies I wanted to work for. I wrote them down, about 15 of them. Those were the companies I focused on. I went to their website, their career pages, and I was constantly checking their, for positions. When I see a role there, I look at the job description. You can use AI, you can use CV Wolf, but for every role, I ensure that I did it myself. I can run it through AI, but I will still go back and ensure that a lot of AI just gives me some sort of idea of what I need to be writing and how I need to structure it. But I make sure that I humanize that CV myself. So it's good to use AI, but always make sure you go back and humanize it, because AI has a way of writing that any other AI can block easily. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. And once it's downloaded and I humanize it, like put in my own words, saving it won't make. I guess what I'm saying is, if I've then had my own input, right, and when I save it, is it going to be able to cross through the ATS? I was told that because, I mean, if you use AI and you then upload it, it's going to be able to, how do I put it? It would note if it was used, if the CV was generated by AI. So from what you're saying, if I humanize it by inputting my own words, that part is taken off, right?
Of course, because AI is based on tokens. It's like language models. So when you prompt AI, what AI does is it goes across data, various data sets, and it looks for the right responses to the next word. So AI has a writing pattern. So, but no matter how you prompt it, it's still based on large language model. But when AI gives you an idea, okay, this is, if you say, okay, AI, generate a CV for me based on this job description, it's going to do it for you. But use that as a foundation to build out your own CV, so you can go through that ATS.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is, if you're applying for a role within, if you say, for instance, if you're applying for a BA role, when the changes you have to make won't be a lot. Because if a BA role says they want someone that is very adept at, wireframing, someone that understands how to pull requirements, a different BA role will have certain similarities, but they might have a different axe or more axe. They might want someone that knows about maybe a bit of solution designing. So it's still the same thing, but you just need to capture those other keywords that are missing in your current CV. Unless you're applying for a different role entirely, like someone is applying for a Scrum Master role and he goes and applies for a planner role, that you need a different CV. But you can have one CV and just keep tailoring it, to suit the specific job. Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? So the key takeaway I want everyone to know today is, when you're applying for roles or you're actively job searching, you need to have a strategy. Okay, you need to have a strategy. And I've told you to set the times to apply. On Indeed, Read, Total Jobs, they mostly advertise their roles in the morning. Keep an eye, and don't just apply for multiple roles. Some people lose track of the roles they've applied for. Keep a tracker. Okay, if you're applying for a role, you do it well. The chances of you being called would be significantly higher as opposed to if you're just applying for random roles. Okay, so have a strategy, network, reach out to recruiters, reach out to people on LinkedIn, try and build a community. If I show you my LinkedIn, I've got people, reaching out to me, not just trying to network, trying to get to know me. And that's how you build a network on LinkedIn, because you might reach out to someone and say, can you have 10 minutes and I would like to catch up with you? And people will be happy to catch up with you. And that's how you create your own, network. And you never know where it's going to lead to. So you need to be out there. You need to reach out to people. You need to go. I mean, it won't cost you anything, but you have everything to gain. Add more recruiters, add more talent acquisition experts, reach out to them, like their content, keep liking their content, engage with it, comment on their content, and they will notice you. Okay, so you have to be very strategic. Any other questions? If you got any questions, it's a good time to ask your questions now. Okay, if there's no questions, I'm guessing, Mark, have you got anything else? I'm guessing we might have to wrap it up a bit early.
Please share my LinkedIn as well. 1 minute. Yeah, BC, Lukman, yes. You want to raise your hand?
Yes, thanks so much, Mark and Richard. I deeply appreciate your time this morning. So, and the session has been highly revealing. It actually bless us. Yeah, it's not really much questions. I just want to know, what is the maximum numbers of years of experience that most of the recruiters are expecting? Unlike most of us, probably some people that has plenty years of experience work with close to like 7, 8 organizations in the past. I think someone told me that there is no need of putting most of those organizations on your CV. Just like 5, 6 years experience is enough. So I want more clarity as regards that. That's number one. Number two, building on the question asked by someone previously as regards the marriage between our LinkedIn and our CV, and the person was talking about how do we structure our wording as regards our experience with MI Consulting. I just want to know, after inputting the name MI Consulting, the period we are working, and probably the role, how do we word it to show that we are working as a consultant or as a contractor, deploying to different areas or to different companies to work with them? So how do we structure it?
Look, so that would be your one of our current students. So that would be something we'll be helping you with. I mean, so when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. So your CV will be looked at and will be structured. It will help you with that structure, with the structuring rather. So don't worry about that. That is something that we would be able to handle on your behalf. Okay.
Can I go?
That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think you had a previous. What was your first question? You had a question.
Years of experience, I think. How many years of experience do we?
Okay, years of experience, I would say 5, maximum 5. Recruiters don't care about anything more than 5 years. They want to ask your 5-year checkable work experience. So you don't need to put something you did 10 years ago.
Okay, so we should delete all those previous ones from our CV,
Yeah.
right?
So the best bet is for your CV to be very lean. Okay, my CV is just a 1-pager. My CV is no more than 1 page, and it has only 5 years of the relevant experience. And I don't list out my responsibilities. If I say, for instance, I'm an agile product coach, I would say what I've been able to achieve in my current role. In my previous role, I was group Scrum Master with Jaguar Land Rover. I would say exactly the outcomes, what I achieved. I drove, this NPS from this to this. That's how my CV is structured. 1 page, and it's the last 5. I don't believe in. Looking at recruiters and working with recruiters, anything more than 5 years is irrelevant, and your CV should be very short. 2 pages max, I would advise.
Oh, that's fine. That's great.
Okay.
I think we have Princess and Tammy. They have questions. I think Princess. Yeah.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. With regards to the CV, my question is, I've been with a local authority for about close to 2 years now, and I'm not on LinkedIn intentionally. Now, I'm still with them as an agency staff. So if I then put it there that I was consulting with AMI, will I not be caught at any point? Because what I'm doing there is totally different from this. And even though I have transferable skills, I've done project management in the past, over 10 years ago, and CV should not be more than 5 years, like what you said, which makes a lot of sense. How will I put everything together and, not not let it conflict? I'm just a bit confused. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying or.
Yeah. So if you're currently working with a local authority now, right? That's what you said, right?
Yes.
So I mean, there was a need of putting MI consultant because you're currently working. Can't you use your current experience?
No, because it's not the same role.
Okay, I
Yeah, because
get
I'm
you.
working as a housing officer, so to speak.
Okay.
And I've done project management in the past.
Okay.
So if I'm to, merge the two, yeah, it's not even though, like I said, I've got transferable skills, but how will I?
I think if you've got transferable skills, I mean, for every role, there's a way you can work it out. If you're a housing officer there, there's a way, like you said, there's transferable skills. There's a way you can work it out to capture whatever requirement that a PM role require. So there's definitely a way to do that because you can't work for two different organizations at the same time. You can't be
Exactly.
MI consulting and the housing association. So it's how you can, show your role, how you can tailor it your day to day to capture those transferable skills. And on LinkedIn, really, you don't need to put your task, your daily responsibilities on LinkedIn. Really,
Okay.
you don't need to do that. It just beats me when I see people that put, this is my role and I do this every day. No, that's not what you should be putting on LinkedIn. You put your role, your current role, you can outline any achievements. As
How
opposed
about,
to,
sorry to interrupt you. How about, for example, like I said, I've been with them since 2024. Yeah.
Okay.
And prior to that, I had a gap. So if I
Okay.
could MI consulting in that one,
Of course you can.
that makes more
Exactly.
sense.
Yes, exactly. That makes more sense. Then you
Yeah.
can capture, okay, you can say, okay, with MI Consulting, this is exactly what I did. Then yes, you can. Yeah, that's another way to do it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it also it'd be something that we can, also if you're part of one of our batches now, we can
I am one of you. Mark
Okay.
knows me very
Yes.
well.
Okay. Yeah, so
And
we
you
can
know me. I was the one that told you that I've not been around, went for a funeral. So
Oh right, okay, yes. Okay, yeah. So
yeah.
so we can have a look at that and see how we can structure that. Because
Thank
like
you
I
very
said,
much.
it's very good to do. If you want to do something, you do it right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We've
Yeah.
got any other questions?
I think Timmy mentioned something about security clearance. Is it Timmy? You?
Yes, sorry, it's just I'm in a very loud environment. So yes, there's a lot of jobs that's asking for security clearance. So I wanted you to shed more light on that, or if we should just avoid those jobs.
So with security clearance, I used to have a company that were able to sponsor you for SC clearance at least. But for now, I think they've changed the legislation. So it's only MOD that can approve an SC clearance now. But with security clearance, some companies are willing to sponsor you. So you apply for them regardless. Because some of them, they might want someone that has an active clearance, or they are willing to sponsor you. Some might say you must be willing to get a security clearance. Okay, and what is security clearance? What did they ask you? They just want to know if you've been outside the country for 6 months at one time. They want to just make sure you're not a terrorist. That's what they want to make sure you're not a terrorist. So if you've not been away from, if you live in the UK and you've not been outside the UK in the past maybe 5 years for 6 months in one time, you won't have a problem. So apply for the roles regardless. Okay.
Thank you. Is anybody else? I think. Sorry, cool.
Yes. I wanted to ask, the other lady had asked, but I just want to practicalize mine. So for years now, I've been into customer service, which is quite different from what I put on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I've been trying to promote BA just for the purpose of job. So I didn't quite get the clarity on how do we merge it? Because for instance, on my real job is customer service, but I'm looking to break into BA. So how do we marry that?
So if your current job is customer service, I'll tell you what one of my previous mentees did is he went and his old LinkedIn, he put it on, what's that word? When you put something in the cooler.
Suspend.
Yeah, he suspended it and he created a new LinkedIn and started adding people in the particular industry. If you look, for example, if you look at Mark's LinkedIn, you'll see that most of his connections are people that are in planning, in project management. You won't see people that are in, maybe doctors or nurses or so everybody's LinkedIn, for every professional, their LinkedIn is mostly people that are within their industry. So I would advise you to your old LinkedIn, that is your current role. If you're willing to transition into a new role, I would advise you go and set up a new LinkedIn. You can keep your old LinkedIn for now, put it on hold, create a new LinkedIn and start building yourself, building your connections. Everything is new. So people you'll be adding are people within your industry. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. So we would it's not to create another one. So two LinkedIn pages can't be on at the same time. I'll have to suspend that one and create a new one.
Yes, I mean it depends on how much. If you really want to secure a new role you want to change your career. I mean, it's worth doing, because you don't need your old LinkedIn because you want to move after that career anyway. So for me, my best approach would be set up a new LinkedIn, create a new LinkedIn with the personnel I want to push forward. If I want people to think I'm a BA or I'm a planner, that is the LinkedIn I'm going to create and start adding people afresh.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. And just to quickly share my screen, I know somebody mentioned they couldn't find us on LinkedIn. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so if you put in MI Consulting UK, let's view this page. So we have, this is our page on LinkedIn. Okay, we have 106 followers that are part of our alumni, and we also try to recruit. We also try to reach out to clients and recruiters and saying we have personnel to help them with their jobs. So this is how you find us on LinkedIn. In there. Also, if you sign up, we give a free LinkedIn optimization for project planners and project managers. So you get this, and you use that to optimize your LinkedIn. So that you can be headhunted by recruiters. So if I go to my profile, just go. So this is my profile in here. And if I go to my messages, you see people are DMing me and saying there's a job, there's a job. I can't do all these jobs. So I always pass them on to my people on the alumni. Okay. So Richard also has his own LinkedIn as well. If you want to share a screen, I'll just stop sharing as well, so you can have a look.
Yep. Okay. So again, it depends on how, like Mark said, if your LinkedIn is optimized, you'll have people reaching out to you. So for instance, this is my LinkedIn. Let's go back. To the home. So this is my LinkedIn. And like Mark said, you have people reaching out to you. If your LinkedIn is on point and it has what...
So Richard, you're not sharing.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Let me share. So this is my LinkedIn. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So if you look here, this is my LinkedIn. And again, if you go to messages, you will see I have people reaching out to me for roles, asking me if I'm interested. And I think the last lady that reached out to me was, or not the last lady anyway, this was sometime in April. And they had this role and they were really interested in talking to me. So if your LinkedIn is set up properly, you will have people reaching out to you for opportunities. Okay, it's just good. That's why I said, if you're gonna, like someone that mentioned that she's in customer service, no, you can suspend that LinkedIn account, go and create a new LinkedIn account and create it, tailor it to the specific industry you want to secure a role in. You have people look at, trust me, recruiters go and look at LinkedIn. They look at your, look at if you're engaging. That's why I said you need to engage with posts, like people's posts, comment on people's posts, so that when someone goes and types in, I'm looking for an agile coach, for instance, your because you've been active in this platform, it's going to push up your profile. Okay, because you have lots of planners on LinkedIn, you have lots of agile coaches. But if you're active, the more active you are, the more it pushes up your LinkedIn to the top of the search. So, yep, if you want to connect on LinkedIn, this is my LinkedIn profile. Feel free to send me a connection request, and I'll be happy to accept. Benga, you got your hand up. Have you got a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, please, I still want to ask about the number of years on the LinkedIn and also on the CV. For example, like my CV, I stated my past experience in Nigeria, which makes it to be like 13 year plus. So when you're not mentioning that it is always better, it should be 5 years. So I'm confused because since I got to UK, actually in Nigeria, I've been a mechanical engineer, worked in maintenance and all that. So I tailored my CV to project planning in production and maintenance stuff, but still amount to like 13 year plus. So when you're not mentioning 5 years now, how do I go about that to reduce the number of years, or if you get what I'm trying to say? Because currently in the UK, I've actually not worked in a company. Just the training and all the things we do. That's what we use in tailoring the CV. So how do
Yeah.
I go about that to
Benga,
reduce the?
are you currently part of us? Are you part of
Yeah,
us
yeah, yeah,
currently?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So this is
Yes.
why you're here. Okay. So we
Yeah.
understand. Listen, when I first moved to the UK, one of the things that held me back was I didn't know how to, certain things I didn't know, lack of information. So that's why we're here. Even if you've been in the UK for 2 years or 1 year, as long as you've been through my consulting, we can help you capture at least 3 to 5 years work experience. As long as we know you can do the job. Because the thing is, when we help you build that reference and you go into that position or that role and you go and you can't deliver, what's going to happen? They would go and blacklist us. So we need to ensure. That's why we tell people, come to classes, put in the effort. Once we know that if you get a role and you won't go and embarrass MI Consulting, we'll be happy to create you a reference to cover that time. Okay, so don't worry about that. We understand that in this country it's about experience. Nobody cares about if you've been here for 1 day, 1 week. They just want someone that has 5 years experience. So we're going to look for a way to give them 5 years experience. As long as you can demonstrate that for the role you're going for, we know you have the necessary skills. You've been attending class, you've been doing your assessments, you've been doing your assignments, and we know we can vouch for you that you will go there and you will deliver. You haven't got a problem. So reach out to myself or Mark. Later
All
we
right.
can see what we can do for you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.
No worries. Sharon?
Hi, sorry, it's my first time here. Just wanted to just clarify something. So, because I've been hearing a lot of PMO, agile, project manager. I was wondering, is that just all you guys do at the moment, or is that like business analyst and data analyst as well? That's also you guys coach too. Secondly, I just want to know how to get in touch or join your program because it's the first time I'm here as well. And thirdly, I wanted to just know how to pivot from because I currently work as a nurse office in NHS for a while now, but I'm thinking of pivoting to either project management or even business analyst as well. I also have a past experience of sales and business manager for a while as well. I wanted to just know how to pivot and what help you can actually offer in terms of if it's possible or if not. Yeah, I don't know if my question is understood.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, thanks, Sharon. Thanks for that question. So currently, back to your first question. Currently, we provide offerings for project planning, project management, agile coaching, Scrum Mastery, delivery lead. We also provide training offerings for PAs, PMO analysts, and those are the current trainings we provide. But hopefully by the end of July, we should have a data analyst trainer. We're working on that. So for now, we're not offering any trainings on data analysis. So in terms of you pivoting from your current role to planning, I think people from the health sector are one of the people, as that demographic is one of the people we see pivoting easily from NHS to project management. Mark, am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely correct. Yes. So we've got like in our alumni about 3 nurses that pivoted from nursing to project management, and they're working there.
Yeah, and not just even nurses, even people that do mental health care, mental health nursing. So it's easy to do, but I think it's just you having necessary skills, understanding if you want to be a BA, for instance, like you said, you want to be a BA, what are the tools you need to learn? What skills and capabilities do you need to learn? And once you learn them, do you have that confidence? And that's why we're here to help you build that confidence and the skills. This is not rocket science. Once you have the skills and you know how to use the tools, you're good to go. So yes, it's doable, Sharon. It's very doable. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yes, that does. I just wanted because I saw the agile and then the PMO. Do I need to write the exams, certifications, and all of that? To be able to.
Yes, it's good to have certifications, but what you need is the experience.
Okay.
Certifications you can get at your own time. Some companies have a training budget. Like my organization, they have a £2,000 training budget every year. So anything you want to do, you have £2,000 to go and do any training you want. But as long as you can go to an interview and demonstrate you have that practical, not just theoretical knowledge, practical knowledge of the role you're applying for, you can get. I mean, in the interim for my industry, there's a lot of free ones you can do to get you started. But those are not. It's not that shouldn't be priority. The priority is understanding how to function in that role, learning how to use the tools, and building your confidence. Okay, we've got 2 minutes. Benga, your hand is still up. Have you got a different question, or was that from the last time? Sure. I think you asked if you could reach out to someone. But I don't know if you want to get Sharon's details. You can reach out to her. Any other questions? We've got 1 minute. Right, there's no questions. I think we should wrap it up and call it a day. Yeah, thanks everyone for attending. I hope the session was useful. If you have any questions for those who are our current students, please reach out to us. For those who are not yet with MI Consulting, if you're interested in signing up with us, also leave your WhatsApp number and someone will reach out to you. Okay, Mark, have you got anything else?
No, thank you so much for joining in. Please, we are ready to help you. We want to be part of your success story. So reach out to us and we can assist you. Thank you.
Awesome, good stuff. Thanks everyone, and have a very wonderful Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.